It's that run at the very end that just gets me hyped.
Yeah.
And you know what? You're going to get like another opportunity to hear that because I didn't realize it just does that when I said it as the intro. So we'll do it again. I hope it does that at the end because that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We'll get into it.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
What's up? We'll let the crowd get in here. Get our 2 followers, your mom and
Whoa.
That on top of.
Whoa.
Where's the man? We got to play the. Oh, here we go.
No, here we go. Oh, we're upping it all the way. We're going full radio DJ on this.
Oh man, I love it.
I need a bigger soundboard.
Right.
Ladies.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, you need. Never mind. That you said you had.
I need. Nice.
I love a woman with a good soundboard, man.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It's all the right notes. Huh? No? I think that was a good one.
It was good. Nice.
Humor him. It was not.
Okay. So we got our 2 people in here.
What up, yo?
Thanks 2 people for joining us. Love to see you every week.
Most of you.
We'll see you. Well, you see us, and I hope you love it.
I love it.
Awesome.
Greg, you are flipped. You are flipped, and I am not ready for it.
Yeah, I flipped my camera this way because I remember how difficult it was like trying to remember like where the helmet was and like, oh no, it's which hand, so like, you know what, I'm just flipping the camera that way I don't have to think about it. The less I have to think, the better.
That's cool. I didn't even know that was
the helmet.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Wait, we can do it. There we go.
Yeah,
we can all flip it. We can all do this now.
Yeah. How do you do this?
I do like it's easier for me to point. You are correct.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa.
Guess what? Oh, I like that. Yeah.
For our listeners out there, the Don just flipped his camera. Oh.
I gotta.
You know what?
I can't do this. I can't live in your reality, Frag.
I feel like we the 2 viewers that are on here early got a magic show and they didn't know they were getting it.
We're always bringing the magic, so
that's right. Cool.
So like my shirt says red rum. It's murder, but it's got a bunch of crows on it.
No, it says red rum, right?
Yeah.
There you go. I like it. That's why you flipped it.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Awesome. We're gonna get started here with our 2 viewers. So thanks again for joining. Love it. All right. Give me a second.
I'm holding on.
Hold on.
Hanging by a moment here with you, Don.
All right. Welcome to Why Is This Game Crazy? And this is the Backlog, where we try to answer the question, does repurposing a rundown castle into a flying fortress make you a bad guy, or are you just an innovator?
It's called house flipping, and everyone loves those guys.
Yeah.
Extreme makeover, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, everyone loves those guys.
Absolutely. Property Brothers, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There we go. And with me today is a Smash veteran who frequently tips his toe into the bad guy pool, Tyken.
I was not sure who you were going to call.
Oh, you thought you were the Smash veteran, buddy?
Oh, Smash. No, definitely not. So never continue.
I love a good burger.
There we go.
Ganon is one of my favorite people to play in Smash, so I think you nailed that pretty solid on
there. You go.
Yep.
And then we have our other special guest today, Frag, once again becoming part of the family.
I don't get any sort of like special.
Oh, just wait. Wait.
Oh, okay. All right.
Frag last week claimed Magneto is just a man with some real good points. And Darth Vader.
Oh no.
That just happened. And Darth Vader is the hero of the Star Wars universe.
He's the hero they need.
Frag's like, I don't know why anyone's laughing. That's just true.
That's just facts.
100%. And I'm the Don, and I'm just here waiting for Frag and his eventual turn to the dark side.
Oh, eventual?
Dude,
we're already there.
It already happened last week. But I do love a good twist. Yeah. And if it's not clear, we're talking about our favorite video game villains today and placing them on top of the Mount Rushmore of video game villainy. We will also be jumping into a rumor roundup to discuss what we're hearing in the video game industry right now and what we want to see happen. And we're also going to discuss what's going around in our lives. And I feel like the princess is in this castle, so we're going to go ahead and say it's boss time.
Ow!
Why is this game crazy?
So you got it twice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Twice is nice. Awesome. Well, yeah. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Thank you guys for showing up early. And we're going to just dive in to what we've been doing over this weekend. And it is a holiday weekend. So happy Memorial Day if you're able to celebrate that and hopefully chill and remember and all that good stuff. So over to Frag. What you got?
I mean, honestly, I've been just enjoying most of the time off. It's, hard to get enough time to really just relax. So it's nice having this 3-day weekend. Been playing some Planet Crafter some more with the kid and all that. And really enjoying myself there. Aside from that, haven't had a chance to really do a lot. Just working on some projects and stuff like that. Back got thrown out again, so that kind of sucked, but whatever.
Okay. Yeah. Woodworking or
yeah, I've been doing a lot more projects for business stuff, getting dice towers out, things like that to some of my customers and whatnot. But yeah, trying to fix cleaning up my daughter's room and getting her a loft bed so she can have a desk underneath it. It was really good. She really likes it. It's just lifting up some of the things and twisting. It was kind of like I had back surgery a couple of years ago, 6 years ago. And so every now and then my back's like, stop doing what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
It's called aging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wrong there.
Definitely got that going on. Yeah. So, rough times.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, I've been, enjoying the time to sit there and watch some movies, and we watched Minecraft movie with the kids.
Oh, I did as well.
Yeah. It was not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. I'll be honest with you.
That's a take.
Yeah, I didn't say it was good. I just said it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I would love to hear. So you didn't think it was as bad, right?
Yeah.
What did you like about it? What didn't you like? A little primer.
We got time for this.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
I'll always be a fan of Jack Black. I love Tenacious D, so I am definitely biased. Maybe it was the fact that I was watching it with my kids and they were like, chicken jockey, or they were shouting out like, don't look at the Enderman, or whatever, things like that. So it was cute. There was nothing I would say that was overly cringy, which is what I was expecting. And I think because I did not see the overly cringy moments, it boosted the points up for me. So yeah, some of the characters, whatever. I would have liked to spend more time with the two female cast members that were in there, because I feel like they did not get screen time at all.
No,
they seemed almost like throwaway characters. Like, we need 2 more, but we're not really going to do anything with them. And it was fine.
Yeah, it was such a weird experience. I literally watched it today, so I'm still in that kind of mode where you're processing. I think there was so much of the story that just felt like all this setup, like here's the sister and she's taking care of her brother and their mom died and she's just trying her best and she's trying to do the social media in this new town, and they were like, all right, we're done with that. We're going to Minecraft now.
Yeah.
And on the one hand, it was the right move because my son, who's 5, was getting bored of all the non-Minecraft stuff they were going into.
Right.
But it just made me go why? You spent like the first 7 minutes just exposition dumping the entire Steve story. I don't know why you then were like, okay, but now we need to have a real story. Just kidding, we don't need it. That part was a little weird. But I will say, and this goes to your point, Frag, Jack Black, he said some really stupid lines, but he said it so sincere.
Yes, 100%.
Like you mentioned there was no cringe. It's only because the way he took it. Because there's literally a line. This is not a spoiler. This is literally a line where Jack Black goes, "We're gonna mine and then we're gonna craft. Let's Minecraft." Like that's a terrible line, but he does it with such enthusiasm. Such we're all in on this. Obviously, this is silly. Let's have fun with it.
Yes,
I will say Jason Momoa was delightful. I mean, he always is. But the fact he played so well as like the loser 80s guy that kind of lost his shit a long time ago and is trying to live that life was really funny. Even if the story just was a lot of I will just say the one thing that really bothered me is the amount of times characters are about to get killed or beaten and then someone shows up. That happened like 4 times.
I know.
You're like, okay. So I don't know. You saw it, Don?
Yeah, we saw it in theaters. It felt very shallow to me. Kind of like you're leading on to it. Just we work on these characters and then we're like, okay, we're just done with it. We're gonna move on to the next thing. And it was to the kids. This movie is not for us, really. It's for the kids, so it was for the kids' benefit. I appreciate that, I guess. I was like, oh, what the hell did I just watch? And
I feel like go ahead.
You said the 2 female characters, and I forgot they were even in there, to be honest. And it's been like 5 weeks or something, and I'm like, female characters? Oh yeah, the sister, and I couldn't tell you who the other one was. It was
the zoo lady, but on the mobile zoo lady.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they really could have just had the 3: Jack Black, Jason Momoa, and the kid, and I think that would have been fine.
It would have been fine.
Yeah,
I think they tried to add like a Jumanji twist to it. Like, here's what's all this going on, but they're not going to spend the time like Jumanji did to like really develop the characters.
Right.
They just like, no. The movie has to be like an hour and a half. We got to crank this out, and we have to have X amount of Minecraft references. So we'll give a dash of Jumanji and then move. Oh, okay.
I will say there were a few moments I genuinely laughed. I really the villains. Well, I'll just say the final monologue of the villain. I was just busting up. Just hey, come here. I have one more thing to tell you. That was beautiful. I love that joke so much. I will say, I think the villager storyline where it comes out and it's got Jennifer Coolidge being Jennifer Coolidge, that was not necessary in the movie. They could have cut that and it would have been fine. Yeah. It did pay off pretty well in the mid-credit scene in a way I did enjoy, but I was still like, it's not worth it. But
it's another one of those things where I feel like if they would have dumped some stuff like that, they could have spent more time. But at the same time, like, what else like could they've added that would have just really just made it even like more risky, I guess, in a way. But overall, I enjoyed it. I have the lava chicken song in my head. But yeah, kids enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
You will hear that for the next 3 months, probably. Probably. Yeah. My kid, 6 years old, just randomly screams it like it's dinner or whatever. Lava chicken. I'm like, chicken jockey, all the stuff.
Yeah.
It's good as hell. Whatever.
I did show my son Wonder Boy from Tenacious D today.
Nice.
And he was like, "Oh my god, he did other stuff." I was like, "You have no idea, boy."
Oh my goodness.
When you get older, we've got an album to listen to.
I mentioned I took my kid to Legoland recently, and they've got the Lego movie. So there's the "Where's my pants" guy.
Oh yeah.
My son is 100% on that now. So much so he came out in just his underwear this morning. He goes, "Dad, where's my pants?"
Oh my god, great. That's adorable.
I was like, "That's cute. That's
fantastic."
That's really good.
Okay. Awesome. So Tyken, on to you.
Yeah. Well, I thought it would be like bring up the Minecraft movie, but yeah, Frag.
We stole that.
Frag share the same brain spell, so
that's right.
Well, took our kids to that one, so that was fun. This weekend down in Portland was a pretty big board game garage sale, so it was hosted by one of the board game groups, or one of the board game companies. And so there was a lot of people selling for like super cheap games, like $5 and $10 for games that are like $40-$50.
Oh man, I wish I'd known.
I will not say out loud because my wife could hear me at any moment how much I spent, but I'll just say at some point I was like, I have to get out of here. I can't. I gotta just put blinders on and I need to walk. Like I took a walk out to my car to drop off stuff to come back and get more. So,
oh my god!
But, I got some great deals. I got some games I've been kind of eyeing. The Search for Planet X, which is a really fun deduction game. I got Crokinole, which is a
I love that.
Yeah. It's almost like shuffleboard for those who have seen that. It's kind of like a 2-player shuffleish board game. So that one's really good. SETI, which is a really fantastic kind of newer game that I got at a pretty deep discount. We have a guys trip that's coming up. So I had picked up it's called Drinking and Daggers. It's a drinking based card game. Think Red Dragon Inn, but it's cooperative.
Nice.
So it sounds like a really good time. I picked up a couple more, but those were like the real highlights of what I had found. So some great stuff, which is nice. The other nerd related thing I'll share is we talked about last week, sort of that try. I tried Revenge of Savage Planet.
Yeah.
I am fucking loving that game.
Yeah.
I am really, really enjoying it.
Okay.
I think I took that as a survival crafter. I didn't play the first one. That's not what this game is. This game is an exploration crafter, which I think is something that there's not enough of. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm maybe 4 or 5 hours in at this point, but running around, unlocking upgrades, capturing creatures, exploring that area. The animations really do a great job of sort of selling the wackiness. So I'm very excited. Honestly, I sat down here and I was like, I could put a half hour. No, then I won't be ready for the podcast. And when this is over, I'm going to go back and play probably another hour tonight. So I'm really enjoying it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Really and fun. The commercials.
Oh, they're so wacky. They're really fun. They have
it's that robot
gal doing yoga at some point, and she's firing you, and just in the most evil way possible. And you're like, what is happening? Why is she doing yoga? So
they're so crazy. Yeah, love that.
Yeah. How about you, Don? What have you been up to?
Awesome. So I went down to visit my dad. We went on Friday. We went on a boat and did some shad fishing. So
nice.
I'm sure Zach would love that. But we caught, I don't know if you've ever caught these things before, shad, but they're like smaller than salmon, bigger than a trout kind of. And when they run up and down the river, wherever they're going, like it just hits. And it was like you drop down and fish on, and then drop down again, fish on. And we try to put both pulls out for the kids, and both of them would be hidden. So we caught, probably 30 fish in like an hour, 45 minutes or an hour. Wow. It was wild. So to bring a 6 and a 12-year-old who mostly play video games onto a boat and fish with my dad and everything, that is the right experience. When I was a kid, we would go fishing and it'd be 8 hours of no bite. So this is a lot more fun.
You're setting them up for false expectations, though. Like
100%.
This is not how it normally is. This is special.
And that's 100%. I had to say that too. I'm like, this is not normal. This is like we're at the right time, at the right place, fishing the right thing, and it's just like that. And I had one experience like that when I was a kid, doing bass fishing down a river, and it was like every time you drop down, it was fish on. So lots of fun.
Wow.
So did you watch Last of Us last night?
I am 2 episodes behind.
Okay.
I've heard very mixed reviews on the finale.
I haven't watched any of it.
I thought the whole season was pretty good. yeah, I'm not going to get into it for your sake. I enjoyed it so much so that I'm starting the game again, and I'm just going to get into it. And
now the first game or the second?
I'm starting at the first. I played the first back when it came out, and now I have like the PS5 updated version and everything. So I'm going to start with that. Play through it. It's updated graphics and visuals and all that kind of stuff. So very excited about it. I did not get into where we are in the second season. So I'm looking forward to that and maybe to push further into that, because now I'm like, I want to know what happens.
Sure. Yeah, because they broke the second game up into 2 seasons, right?
Yeah, I
have not even played the second game yet. I really should.
Yeah,
I loved the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to push through.
Sure.
I did this when the first Hunger Games came out on movie, and I'm like, I didn't even read this book, and immediately I read through every book that was out there just because I was like, I want to know what happens next. So yeah.
To be fair, those are not super long books, so it's a nice chew to get through.
Yeah. So but good times. That I'm going to close that out on my weekend. Basically, that was it. So,
actually, you mentioned books. I have started, and this is a recommendation for anyone who likes the genre. But there's a lit RPG series called He Who Fights with Monsters. Book 12 just came out. This has been going for a couple of years. Every time it comes out, I just chew through the book. They're good chunks, 30-hour listens. But it's it's a story of an Australian kid, basically, who ends up teleporting to another alternate Earth, basically called Palimustis, that has magic in it. And his mind, to try and understand the magic, puts things in video games terms. So he's got like a character sheet, and he has skills, and he can kind of see what his skills do and how his progression happens. But there's this amazing world that Shirtaloon, the guy who wrote it, has crafted that I have really, really loved. I've enjoyed exploring the side characters and the world around it. I think the main character, Jason, can be hard to get through if you stick with him and kind of deal. He's an asshole. Like he's an arrogant asshole. But eventually, where I am at book 12, he sort of earned his arrogance now, and he's a bit more tempered with time. But it is a delightful read. So, since you mentioned books, I just
nice. So the title once more.
He Who Fights with Monsters.
Okay.
By Shirtaloon.
Awesome. Yeah. I'll check it out. I'm not going to type it in right now, but
with your
yeah. Well, the mic's here, and then like the keyboard's like right under this bar here on my screen. So
but you type like a gorilla with your hands up.
Yeah, T-Rex. Just beat those things.
If I don't buy a new, are just jackhammers.
Yeah, if I'm not buying a new keyboard every 6 months, I'm doing something wrong. So nice. Awesome. Well, that is what we got going on for the last weekend or so. And we're going to talk rumors. This is a new thing. News was a little light this week. I'm sure there is some things. So if you do want to talk news or bring that up, feel free to. But we're just going to talk rumors. These are hot items that have been picked up in the last week or two with some solid foundation. And we're just going to talk about them, see what we think about them, and if we think they're actually going to happen. First thing I'm going to start with is a Grand Theft Auto 4 remaster.
Yeah.
Hope they fix the driving.
Yeah, that was sort of okay, let's talk about how likely this is, right? They had GTA 3 and the corresponding games. Those got a remaster, but if you're not seeing this, Frag is shaking his head no, because that launch was bad.
It was so
terrible.
Bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was so pumped for it, and then I saw what it was, and it was like, no.
Yeah, so I do think that with GTA 4 does drag it down a little. I mean, but from what I understand, the GTA 3 trilogy sold pretty decently for how much they put into it. So if they're going with another outside vendor to sort of develop that game and remake it for better graphics, I could totally see them doing it. That being said, I'm with Frag. GTA 4 and honestly 3 have really bad car controls. And it's why I can't go back, even though I love the story of Nico Bellic. Like I love
go bowling.
Hang out with your cousin Roman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say I have a lot of great memories because that was the time when Xbox 360, we were playing a lot of games together, Tyken and I, and we had another friend of ours. And I remember just, hey, get in my helicopter, we're going. And we just would make little games like, how fast can I go flying through the city in a helicopter? And so, yeah, I would just like zoom in and out and, listening to their screams that I was absolutely nuts. I remember us flying near a bridge, far enough away from it. And then we just watch as a car just drives right off the bridge, unrelated to anything that we were doing. And we're like, someone just killed themselves. What just happened? So fun.
I don't know. What do you think, Don?
I loved GTA 4. I would love to go back to it. That would make me want to go back to it if they do it right. What I'm hearing is that we might see there's strong opinions that the rumor is that we're going to see an upgrade to visuals a little bit, but not a full, like not an Oblivion style remaster. We're not going to get that. It's going to be small upgrades to visuals and frame rates and things to make it run better on the platforms of today and the PC power of today and everything, but not a full remaster. So that's disappointing to me if that's what it is. But at the same time, I really want to go back to this game. Like, I want a reason to go back to it. It was so good to me. Like you guys, I had so much fun with it. And I remember the step between San Andreas to this, like the way the characters moved, the way you interacted with the people that you're walking around in Liberty City. It was just totally different. It was very immersive. The world felt alive to me. So I'm very excited to visit it again. I hope they do something right with this. After seeing what they did with the trilogy and the remaster with that, I have reservations, but I hope it works. I hope it goes well.
I have a really hard time believing that this is going to come out as the rumor for the fact that the trilogy did not do well, or at least it tarnished Rockstar to some degree.
Right.
The other thing I keep thinking of is like GTA 6 was going to come out this year. What a weird thing to also throw GTA 4
Yes, I agree.
And like, I could kind of see the argument of, hey, it's getting pushed to March. We need something for our fall drive. But Rockstar doesn't need something for their fall drive, right? They're not needing to appease shareholders. Right. They can wait another 5 years on GTA 6 and still have plenty of cash.
Wait. So. I'd wait.
Yeah. So that just makes it weird to hear that GTA 4 might be out this year.
Yeah. The only thing I can see with this is that I believe what we're waiting on for 6 is more of the online foundation to be put into place, and the story is already done. And if I feel like if they have a team working on story and a team working online, and now the story team is kind of released to go do something else, I could see this happening in that world. But have they been working on it? I haven't really heard anything about it until now. So I have a lot of skepticism that this is actually going to happen. Yeah. But at the same time, I want it to happen. So selfishly,
I just feel like we're going to get another GTA 5 remake before we get a GTA 4 remake. Again, that's all I'm saying.
There you go.
updated graphics.
Probably. You're probably right. Good times. Okay. We're going to move on past GTA 4. We're going to move into Battlefront, talk about that a little bit. So the main news this week, there hasn't been any rumors about Battlefront happening with a round 3 or anything. And this is where we saw the previous Battlefront 25 years ago struggling to go from Battlefront 2 to Battlefront 3. We're in that same kind of phase right now. But for some reason, Battlefront 2 is regaining popularity. It blows up on Steam charts last week, and the developers of Battlefront 2 and Battlefront, they're like, we want more. We want to develop the next one. Nobody's really supporting that from EA or whatever, but that's what we're hearing as of last week.
Yeah, this was a big community push coming out of Reddit that on May 25th, yesterday, from when this podcast is being recorded, there was this, hey, let's blow up Star Wars Battlefront 2. Let's get on the Steam charts and let's convince the developers we want a 3. That's why kind of out of nowhere this game got really popular. It was really just someone was like, hey, let's do it. And there was enough people saying, yeah, I want a Battlefront 3. I would love to see this happen. I mean, the last Star Wars Battlefront game was the remake of 1 and 2, which again was a very poor launch done by an outside vendor. So I'm excited to see it. I'm excited that people, I love when a community like really shows like, hey, we want this thing to exist. And so I think EA is the kind of company that's like, is there money there? It sounds like there's money there. Let's do it. So I won't be surprised. But I don't know. It was cool. It was a cool.
I would be surprised. I don't know if I'd be surprised if it's done well.
Yeah. They're like, they want this. We're going to give it to them.
Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like EA would be like, yeah, there's a market there. Cool. But like, what's the cheapest way we could do this and still say we did it?
You know, there's a lot of criticisms I have for EA, but they do like, they make a polished, they don't make a visionary game, but they do make a fairly polished game most of the time. Like their back end engine team is really good. Their marketing team's atrocious and does shit. Like if you guys remember Battlefront 2 when it first came out, was really, really bad with microtransactions. Like they're always bad with them, but this was atrocious. And they rolled a lot of those back. Like they took their beatings and put the time in to make it a better game, which is why people are willing to go back and play it, which is a big deal. Hopefully they don't make that same mistake with 3, but it's EA. I mean, if they can nickel and dime us.
For sure. Any last ones on that?
I'd be down to play it. I didn't play Battlefront 2, but I'd be down to play it. Sorry.
Yeah.
I played it on the PlayStation when it was like free for PlayStation Plus ones.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. I did. And that was long after they cut most of the microtransactions, which honestly did make it a much more enjoyable game. I couldn't imagine playing that game with all the transactions that I read about and saw videos about. It would not make that game enjoyable, but it was fun. I enjoyed it once it was in that state.
Yeah, pretty enjoyable. I'd like to see Battlefront jump from 2 to 3. I would love it. I think there is a lot of potential in that series and what they can do with the IP, and I would love to see it go to the next level. So it's not happening. It hasn't been talked about that it's happening, but I would love to see it eventually. So that's kind of a theme with rumors, is like anything that's talking about something coming out, I'm going to be like, yes, that's awesome. I want to see it.
Right. Sure.
Is it likely? I don't know. On to the next one. I feel like this one is likely. BioShock's doing something.
So if you keep it vague enough,
Is it
doing what exactly?
I've heard a couple things over the last couple weeks. One is that there's going to be a new entry in BioShock, something in the Arctic. So the setting changes a little bit. I'm not sure. Like I've heard something about refugees from the previous BioShocks moving on to this new place, and then the story developing from there. Sounds really cool. The other thing I'm hearing is that there might be a remaster for the original trilogy
did they
whatever.
Do one already?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
They've done a remaster of 1 and 2.
Okay, so it'll be getting the Skyrim approach.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, look, there's a world if they release it on like Unreal Engine 5 that I would be excited.
Sure.
If they're just updating the graphics, I already have a PC. Like it already is going to look as good as it's going to look. So I don't know. One thing to mention is we know there's a BioShock Netflix series in the works.
Yes.
If I had to put my money anywhere, I think that's all this is like, hey, we're going to announce a trailer for BioShock. I think people heard BioShock and were like, oh, a game. It's got to be a game or a remake. And I don't know. It seems to coincide too much of where I expect BioShock Netflix production to be for me to think it's anything but.
Yeah, and like let's look back a year ago when Fallout came out and everybody was rushing to get Fallout 4 and Fallout 76 and the popularity surged. So if they did another remaster on current gen and it came out coinciding with the release on Netflix, I think it's going to sell like hotcakes.
That's true.
Yeah.
I will say one thing. I think BioShock without Ken Levine, who was the main creator for 1 and for Infinite, I think is just not a game I'm excited for. I'm very excited for Judas when that shows up, which is what his current project is. So if they come out with BioShock 4 and they're like, oh, by the way, Ken Levine's back in charge, you'll hear me screaming at the top of my lungs. All right. But anything else, I'm going to be very skeptical. Like that, that world requires such a deftness that even I think Infinite didn't quite match BioShock 1.
Oh, I would 100% agree.
But I will say, going back to Rapture and the DLCs for it were wonderful. But you need someone who brings in that sort of edge of philosophy and on top of the gameplay and the horror and the elements that really make BioShock its own unique experience that there are very few developers I trust to pull that off.
I will say, like, I enjoyed in Infinite I didn't find it subtle, but I know that like when we were talking about it years ago when it first came out, Tyke and I noticed all like the racism that was on the parade game, the little fair games that they were doing. And you're like, well, what do you mean? I was like, you didn't realize that all the depictions of the bad guy happened to be Irish people, Native Americans, or Black people. And it took you a second, you're like, oh my God, you're right. I was like, that's the subtlety of that sort of like propaganda, that sort of mindset of of doing that. And so I really enjoyed those jabs at that mindset. And I do agree. So I think we definitely need to have a Kevin Levine in behind that, because otherwise 2 was fine, but it wasn't memorable.
Hear me out. Hideo Kojima, BioShock 4.
And
that would be a wild experience.
That he pulls it back and he's like, it's real life and this is happening. Yeah. And, oh my God.
He enters your house. He's like recording.
Oh my God, get out.
How?
Get the hell out of my house. Oh my God, that's nightmarish.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if it's anything but the Netflix. I do think the remake is a possibility, Don. I think you've convinced me on that one. I don't want it, frankly. Again, if it's Unreal Engine 5, I would love to see the water physics in Unreal Engine 5. That would look amazing.
Oh, yeah. That'd be brilliant.
Anything short of an Oblivion-style remake at this point, I'm just going to shrug my shoulders.
Yeah.
And I love BioShock 1, but
Awesome. How about Half-Life 3?
What year is it?
What year is it? When was Half-Life 2?
Oh my God. 04?
20 something years ago.
Yeah.
I've heard multiple sources say that they've been actually working on it, but who knows? Like, I don't, at this point, I think if it did come out today, it would definitely be better than Duke Nukem Forever. However, I feel like
that's our high bar here.
Yeah. I just, with how long it's been, what could that game be? I feel like that would satisfy the everyone's expectations of Half-Life 3.
Alex was a delight. Half-Life
Alex was
really
pretty good.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
It's not Half-Life 3. Like, that's the thing.
I think it was Atlas who said this before, but I desperately want, if they're going to do this, if they're going to do a Half-Life 3, I want Orange Box 2. I want Team Fortress 3. That would be so good. 3 and a Half-Life 3 as their own package. Just release it all the same and blow our minds.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. It's hard to take serious the rumors of Half-Life 3. You've been listening to these rumors.
Yeah.
Even from quote unquote credible sources, which this guy is claimed to be a credible source from his Patreon. We'll see. But that's one. They probably are working on Half-Life 3. They probably have been working on Half-Life 3 as a side project for the last like 15 years. they just aren't happy with it. And 2, they don't need to ever release it. It's not like that's a studio making games that needs money. This is Valve. They own Steam. Like, those guys don't need to do shit. And so they'll only release it if it's the product they want to release.
100%.
Well, and the thing too to think about for in my mind is when you think about Half-Life, for example, any of the Half-Life 1 or 2, and maybe the corresponding
part 1s and 2,
don't really matter as much in this thing. But like, every single one of them kind of like pushed a limit of something, whether it was a physics engine or was a new concept of something. Each one pushed something. Would that still be a thing? Would they still have a Half-Life 3 game if it came out? Would it still follow in that trend of it's going to be pushing the envelope of something? Is it going to be a VR game? I hope not, but
no, I don't think so.
Yeah, but what would it be? And does it even need to?
Alex was that too. Like, Alex kind of came out, was like, hey, we're going to really drive what VR could be as a real game. So to your same point, like this goes to Valve, like, they're going to release a game because they want to. And to do that, they're going to want to create something that is that big moment, that big tent pole, that big experience. And they need something to hook onto. And I think that's what stopped them. They don't want to just come out with a story. They want to come out with something
right.
big.
And was Half-Life 3, was Alex actually what Half-Life 3 was going to be? I don't know if that's ever been discussion at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that. And, VR just, it's going to be a footnote in history.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's been some really interesting developments. I don't think it's going to be what people expected it to be, but I don't think VR is going to be gone. I do think like the what's not virtual reality, it's the
AR. Augmented reality.
Augmented reality, I think is going to be more of a thing. I saw something recently where it was they were using was it Quest 2 or the Quest 3, the newest one that just came out, whatever.
Quest 3, yeah.
Quest 3. And it was basically somebody like putting a mural on their wall, and they were using the VR as a way of like having the image of what they were going to put up there and then them actually physically painting it. And I was like, that is a great use of that. I didn't even think about that. Like, that's so cool. But as an actual like VR system, I don't see it.
I don't know. What do you think, Don? What's your over under? Does this do you think it pushes a needle for Half-Life 3 to be real? Is this just another in a long line of rumor mongering to get some?
No, I think kind of what you said is that you both said this needs to push the envelope somewhere to happen, and it was ahead of its time. This game blew everything out of the water. Like, it looked phenomenal compared to any other game that was out at that time, and the physics worked great and everything about it was great. So I think they are waiting for this game to be, it needs to be above everything else that's out. It needs to live up to the hype. It needs to follow in the footsteps of Half-Life 1 and 2. So I think they are waiting for the right time. I keep hearing stuff, and I feel like it's closer and closer, and before we know it, we're going to be there. But, and I think thinking about it, like Rockstar's trying to do it with Grand Theft Auto, they're saying Grand Theft Auto is going to be a game that is unlike any other game. And I feel like Half-Life needs to live in that place too. Like, this has to be a game that's unlike any other game. The story is just out there and it pushes the boundaries. And I believe that's what needs to happen with it. Otherwise, like you said, they're not going to release it.
Right.
Why do they need to?
The big rumor that came out today from, I forgot the gentleman's name, but from his Patreon was Half-Life 3 is going to be the end of the Half-Life story.
Yep.
And all I could think is, I fucking hope so.
Yeah.
What, are they going to end it again? We got to wait 20 more years?
It's going to be 60 something.
Wrap that story. Just wrap it.
Yeah.
Gordon Freeman looks at the camera, says, drops an F-bomb, drops his crowbar, and heads out. That's all I need.
Yeah.
Doom guy fist bump, and they just walk into the sunset.
Yeah, I heard that too. So yeah, exactly. Let's close it off and let's do something special for sure.
Yeah. Orange Box 2, baby. I forgot
Orange
Left 4 Dead
Box.
3. That'll be a part of that too.
Oh God, I hope so. Bring that back. Awesome. And last thing, it's something I haven't heard about for a while, but we're going to talk about Knights of the Old Republic, the PS5 exclusive.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll see. That would be, I mean, it could be, right? Like, it's done by, who's the developer that picked it up? So it was Aspire, right? And then they was defunct. Am I doing that in the right order?
Yeah, you're going the right direction.
Yeah.
PS5 exclusive.
So they got picked up by a new developer. That developer got bought by another group. And so that's why this game's sitting in this like limbo hell right now. We haven't heard of KOTOR for a while. But yeah, the rumor is that Sony's swooping in to sort of do publishing for the game. This has been kind of a really common
Saber.
That's right.
Yeah.
As in lightsaber. I'm sorry.
Stab. I'm going to his house.
I think they sell printers or something.
Well, oh shoot! You made me lose where I was going with KOTOR.
Oh no!
They got bought out. Sorry. Now I know where I was going. So this is a thing that a lot of the big publishers are moving towards more and more. This is why you're seeing so many exclusives, is they come in and they fund the game. This is really the secret of Game Pass. Game Pass will fund a game with the agreement that they'll be on Game Pass. So they basically float all of their costs to build the game, and then they get to sell Game Pass as well as allowing it on other platforms. I would imagine, and I would hope, that if they remake KOTOR, it's at the very least a timed exclusive. Because if not, I'll lose my shit. It's the one console I don't have, and it's a game I really want.
Yes. One of the reasons I'm on a PlayStation 5, I was like, this is coming out, Wolverine's coming out.
Is it? I haven't heard anything from Wolverine.
Yeah, exactly. These were announced as PS5 timed exclusives. So I bought one of these and I'm like, I'm going to play this as soon as it comes out, and have heard crickets. And with KOTOR, it's like the developer that they had remastering it, they're out. It's switching over to Saber. Saber says that they're working on a lot of things, but this is one of their top priorities. We just haven't seen anything about it. We also don't know. I hope it's a remaster like Mafia, where it's a totally different game.
Yeah. Like Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII. Something in that vein where it's not just a move to a new engine. I hope this is something entirely different, better, something that doesn't look like, it was 20 years ago, and then just kind of like Grand Theft Auto, right? Grand Theft Auto just kind of put a new paint on it, but did very little to remaster it. So
I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I agree with that. Because the thing about like Final Fantasy VII is like I played it back in the day. I loved it. It's been many years since I played it. And then playing like the remake where it's like a MCU multiverse Final Fantasy VII, where it's like this is not at all what happened. Now we're completely taking a different direction. Yeah, I know that's intentional, but to say then it's a remake of a game, to me, I'm like, no, that's not a remake. That's a revision. That to me, that's where it's disingenuous. And for me, if you're gonna make something, especially maybe I'm biased because I love Knights of the Old Republic. It's definitely one of my top 3 to 5 games of all time. Final Fantasy VII is not even in the top 10. So I guess I am definitely biased. But if they were to say we're going to make a Knights of the Old Republic remake in a new engine, do all things like this, and then they completely like go off in a weird direction with it, I don't know how if I would like that, because I'm like, that's not what I wanted.
But I kind of, you're saying the vision of like they could go off in this way that makes it not the game I imagine. I think there's a world you can make it the game you imagine and modernize it. Like watching the combat now is a lot of the same parry. It's a lot of the same hit, and then damage numbers come up. Like, I would love a much more fleshed out combat system. It doesn't need to go all the way to FF7 where it's like straight up action.
I'm talking about more story. The combat would definitely need to be updated.
The combat needs to be updated. I think the story itself is great. I think the way the story is told needs to move a step away from the BioWare zoom in on the character's face and have them talk. To more of a much more natural back and forth. Like, we can do that now, and that really wasn't an option in the BioWare days. So that's where I envision where I want to see an upgrade to it. I don't want them to just drastically change it. Like, it needs to have all the cool missions and weird side content and the various ways you get to play the game. I think all that's super important. But the empty areas, the sort of samey enemies, and the sort of lackluster combat definitely needs a refresh.
I would love to have them like maybe add additional content to it, like more missions, that were not in there. Yeah. I'd be fine with that. But like the overall story, I don't want it to just go off a tangent into something that had nothing to do with the original story. That's more where I stand.
Yeah, not a reboot, but a remake that keeps the original concept and kind of moves it forward, right?
Like, don't ruin the spirit of the game.
Standard. I feel like Oblivion's a gold standard now in my head, at least recently, of like making a game at the way I envision that game, but modernizing it.
Yes. Yeah. I agree with that. I think that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. It's an Oblivion approach to it.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Mafia's up there for me too. I mentioned it earlier, but that game, playing it on the PS2, playing it now, holy crap, they did something special there.
I will say, at least as a halfway measure, if all they did was come in and they redid KOTOR, made it look a little nicer, but let it run well on modern consoles and a modern PC, I would find that acceptable. Like, KOTOR 1 is in a 4:3 aspect ratio. Trying to mod that game to get it to be reasonable on a modern hardware is really painful. So getting the opportunity to at least go back to that game in a reasonable way would be, I'd be happy with.
That's fair.
It would run a lot better.
Yeah.
At the very least.
Awesome. Well, that is it for rumors. If you guys have any other news or anything, we can throw that in. But I think that kind of hit.
No, I do have two. Well, one. So we had a couple of not as big Smash Brothers tournaments as Kagribi or any of the large ones, but we had a few that came out last week, and we actually had two brand new characters win majors for the first time ever. The first one is Hero from the Dragon Warrior series. In Beast Mode, Paul, a guy out of Florida, won his first ever major and first ever to win with Hero, which was pretty amazing. Took down some pretty powerful talent, including Omega, who's a really great Joker player, and Lima, who's a really good Bayo player. So that was super cool to see. The other one is a character that most people kind of put near the bottom of the pack, which is Piranha Plant from the Mario series. Yes, he's a Smash Brothers character. He won a major this week, I believe, in Europe. I'd have to look through, but it was piloted by my personal favorite player, which is Spargo, who was last year's #1, who typically plays Cloud from Final Fantasy. He's kind of gotten bored of the character. He's looking for someone else and decided, hey, I'm going to show you guys that this bottom tier is amazing. And he's doing that right now. So it's been kind of fun to watch. I hate that character, though, but it's still fun to see.
Did you say Joker as in like Batman?
No, Joker from Persona.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't play it.
Yep.
Anyway.
Smash Brothers will only ever do video game characters. They'll never do like comic book or, there's always a request for like Goku to come into the game, and it's like, that'll never happen. Not what Smash Brothers is attempting.
Sure. It's just I don't know Persona, so when you say Joker, my mind instantly going, what?
Speaking of villains,
multiverse.
Yeah, like what?
So
that is a good segue.
Yeah.
Do you have one more, or that was it?
No, that was the
just one. The sweet. Yeah. So speaking of villains, Joker. Right. We've got the Mount Rushmore villainy coming up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through each one of us and make picks for our own personal Mount Rushmore. nobody can have the same pick once a character is pulled off. He's done. So once he's on a mountain, he stays on the mountain. And we just move through. Everybody gets their own Mount Rushmore, but nobody can have duplicate characters.
Okay.
These are our favorite villains. So personal favorite doesn't have to be the best video game villains of all time, but they're our favorites, so they could be.
I got my list.
That's pretty much it. We'll start with Frag, but
he's ready too.
At some point, you're going to be part of the team, and we're not going to give you the guest honor anymore.
Fair enough.
We're just going to get you signed.
Right. Okay.
And are we doing snake draft?
I like snake draft.
Okay.
What's the snake draft? So, Frag, I'll let you pick which position you want to be in. How about that?
Ooh, baby. Oh, my. Get to pick a position?
Bottom. of the group.
I don't even know what you're talking about. What?
Snake draft. The way snake draft works is the first person that picks, they pick one, second person picks one, third person gets to pick the next two. And then it goes back to the previous person.
Understand.
And then it goes to the top. They get to pick two.
Okay. So I'll pick the first one. I want to talk. I like to talk. So I know we talked about Handsome Jack, and I know that's going to be an argument. I am not going to pick Handsome Jack.
Wow,
I'm going to let that one go.
Wow.
Yeah. I have a couple other here that I think are. I'm not gonna say better because Handsome Jack is top. He's like S and A tier.
I kind of feel like you should just pick him if you're gonna keep bringing him up.
No. I got a couple others here that I think that I really want to talk about. So I want to just get that. Dutch Vanderlyn for Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, Dutch.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Dutch is a character you want to follow. He is so good at. Just being inspirational, that charisma. He's kind of similar in that Handsome Jack where he's got that charisma to him. But Dutch makes you feel like the bad things are the good things. You're doing it for the right reasons. You follow me. We're on this trail together. We're family. Like you really want to believe in Dutch. As the player, you're like, this guy's batshit crazy. But you put yourself in that the shoes of the people in his gang, and you can easily see why they would follow this man to the death and beyond. Dutch, I think, is a great antagonist to a series because he's an antagonist that you love. So I'm gonna say Dutch.
That's a great pick.
Nice.
That's great. He didn't make my list, but he was definitely on the periphery of that list. Yeah, nice. Who's next?
Awesome. I know you like being the end of the snake, so I'll let you go third if you want.
You know what? I want to take number 2.
Okay.
You're
a little worried.
That first. No, don't be worried. Okay. The one I'm gonna take is gonna be cheesy, but I think I'm gonna back my way into why I think this deserves to be on the Mount Rushmore, and that's Bowser from Mario Brothers.
Yeah, someone had to.
I don't think there's a more truly iconic villain to the point that everybody knows Bowser.
Sure.
Like it's Mario, it's Luigi, it's Bowser. It's probably Mario, Bowser, Luigi, and the knowledge threshold, right? But like he's just been such a mainstay in video games. He is the video game villain, but he's that video game villain that's like the Saturday morning cartoon villain, right? It's not about the story. He's not this deep, engaging character. He's just this sort of goofy guy that steals the princess for no apparent reason all the time. Apparent reason. Let's not get into the lore. All right. But I do think like Bowser just shows up all over the place. He's always a fun character, whether that's in the Mario Brothers movie done by Jack Black, who did a fantastic job.
Yeah, he did.
Whether it's in Mario Kart and tennis and golf. Like here's this villain that is always constantly stealing, but let's go out and play some round of golf, buddies. Like he's just a really fun character. The other thing that always gets me at Bowser is Bowser could totally just have one level where all the monsters are in, and Mario could never get to the princess, right? Like I played enough Mario Maker jank and garbage to know that Bowser is intentionally making good level design. Like he's interested in Mario getting to him and just giving him a fun challenge. All right. So you've got to respect a man who's like, hey, we're going to do this song and dance, but I'm not going to make it too hard for you. You can just have a wall of booze, just sweep over and just Mario could do nothing, but he doesn't.
So Bowser's like a DM. I want you to be able to defeat things, but I want to do a challenge. Jesus Christ. Wow.
And that's why he's the number one on my Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
You know what? He is a wedding planner. This guy's a home makeover guy. Like
he's a father.
Very multifaceted for a villain. So
not only is he a father, he's a father to multiple kids, but he only really cares about one.
Yeah. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe he just needs to find a mom for his son.
We already found. No.
I mean, that's what Bowser Jr. calls her, right? Calls her mama. Yeah.
There you go. Oh so God. Cool. I did want to unpack, like, why is he always after the princess? What is that? So, you got anything? No, we'll just save it for another time.
I feel like getting into that lore just gets us into the same world that looking up Sonic on the internet will get us. And I think we should just steer clear.
Yeah. Okay. Sound advice.
Wow. So you gave me 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to start with a line. Do you have the DSM? You're not following.
No.
Did you get it?
Uh-oh.
Okay.
I'm losing my nerd cred right now.
Oh, okay.
What's the line?
Do you have the DSM? And Ghost says, we have it, sir. Good, that's one loose end. This is General Shepard from Call of Duty.
Yep, I caught it. Yep, Call of Duty. Yep.
You follow this guy through a game and a half, and you're like, this is my general. I'm going to follow everything this guy tells me to do. And then he's just pulling strings the whole time. Like, this guy wants to have World War III. He wants to have the budget to have the greatest fight. He has this revenge thing from losing all of his troops from, the last war he was in. And basically he has his team go in, get some stuff. It's all the plans from the Russians, and it outs him as, tied into this and having bad motives and everything. So Roach and Ghost bring it back to General Shepard, and they get killed, basically. So hopefully that's not a spoiler for anybody. This game came out a long time ago, 15 years ago. But it was one of the greatest twists I've ever experienced in a game. Like, in Knights of the Old Republic is a great twist too. But playing this, I didn't expect it. And I was like, what the hell? And it just happened.
What's so shocking about that moment too is, like, Call of Duty has done a really good job of subverting expectations, especially in the beginning. And yet that moment still slaps you in the face. Like, you are like, all right, I got it. I know what they're going for, this big budget thing. We're going to see something cool. And then that happens. And I remember just staring. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it's abrupt and a massive change. It feels like the betrayal it is. Like, you as a player are like, that motherfucker,
Yeah.
It's a crazy moment. That's a great pull.
And yeah, in the story after this too, he kills 2 of his best operators, and to cut the ties and everything and cut all the loose ends. And then his other 2 operators are on a different mission. He throws them under the bus and basically makes this play that the US government gives him millions of unlimited budget. Basically, he has an unlimited budget, and he can now do the things he wants to do to start World War III. And it's just crazy. This guy's motives, he is a villain. He is a terrible person. And man, what a like, I didn't even see it coming.
What a piece of work.
Yeah. I remember playing that game and going back into Game Crazy, and I was like, what the hell just happened? I just played this last night. Right? This happened. Oh my God.
You're like still processing it the next day. You're like,
oh yeah.
Did that happen? Was that real?
It's one. And then like anybody that traded that game in, I'm like, how about that turn? And they're like, they knew exactly. It was such a big moment. And what I'll say is if you play Call of Duty and you just play it for the multiplayer, you were missing out back then. Like the story was great. And I'm sure the stories now are just as good. I played a little bit and the action's good. And this is top cinema stuff, these games and the budgets they have. So I enjoy them. So you took Bowser.
I did.
He was actually on my backup list, so I'm not too too worried about that one. I am gonna do another twist villain because I like those. Like I said, I'm waiting for Frag to become Sith. So
waiting
exactly.
Wait till you get to my next one. Then
I mentioned this game earlier.
Just slowly comes up.
Yep. I mentioned this game earlier in the podcast. And who I'm picking is Don Salieri from Mafia.
That's why Mafia was top of mind for you.
Yeah. So just like I played the remaster, it was so good. I played the original, it was so good. They do twist a few things in the story. But one of the first quotes, and there's two quotes in video game history that are my favorite quotes, and one is from Oblivion that the king says, and we talked about that on the podcast. The other quote is Don Salieri says, "The first rule of being in this is there's no cursing on the premises. There's a million words out there, and the man who needs to resort to fuck this and fuck that is just ignorant and lazy." And it resonated with me, right? Like there's like, he's saying, a smart person's going to use their vocabulary, and that's how you talk to people, right? And that's how you make feel bad about themselves, is you don't just say fuck this, fuck that, or fuck you. You use your words as a weapon. The second thing he says is we don't deal in hard drugs. And the third thing is we don't want trouble from the police. As you go in this game, and this is why I put him as a villain, he tears these things down. And these three pillars to his organization are not really pillars for his organization. We fuck with the police. We make the police jobs hard. And then, have you guys played this?
No, I have not played Mafia in years, and I don't even know if I finished it.
Okay. I don't want to get into the end of it, but there's certain pillars that he tears down as you go in the game, and there's certain people you have to turn on and kill and all that. So you have hits on people, and it really does like pull into these questions of morals and doing the right thing, and you're just following what the boss wants to do, right? And at a certain point, your character is like, I don't know if this is all right, but I'm still kind of going to go with it. And that's why, like, he's such a good villain, is because at the beginning, he feels like a father figure that takes you as a taxi driver and gives you an opportunity to do great things, but then it becomes crime or organized crime, and you're doing bad things, and you just keep pushing the limit, and this goes very far, and it's a great game and great villain. I love it. So yeah, check it out. It's a pretty short play with the remaster. There is one thing at the end they switched that kind of makes that quote from the beginning mean a lot more, or trigger you a little bit more. But yeah, good time.
Okay,
nice.
Good choices. Good choices.
You like them mentor heel turns, is what I'm learning from both.
I like the heel turn. Yeah. John Cena.
This guy.
And honestly, that kind of goes to my next one. I'm going to give you some quotes as well.
Nope.
Oh no, it goes back to you, and then it goes back to me.
Yeah, right. Frag, what were you going to pick so I could take it?
I almost guarantee you're not going to have a few on my list.
That's right. No one's going to have this on their list, but I'm again talk you into it. So the character I pick or the villain I pick for number 2 is Kefka from Final Fantasy VI. Now, I don't know if you guys have played Final Fantasy VI in a hot minute, but the reason that Kefka gets to be up on my list is because Kefka wins. He absolutely wins his goal. Now, to give a little background, Kefka is the blueprint that Sephiroth is built on. He is a character who he was the first of the Magi Knights. He's the first one to get magic in the world of Final Fantasy VI, and him and the Empire use it for sort of pretty awful ends, right? They subjugate everybody. They start stealing the Espers. They start brainwashing people. But with Kefka specifically, he loses his mind. Like, he was a great soldier who gets converted, and the process was so early that he just gets warped. Well, he goes full bore into it, and about halfway through the game, he just offs the Emperor. He's like, you know what? I'm in charge of this whole thing now. He gains so much power, and you are spending your entire time trying to stop this guy, that eventually he becomes the god of magic and destroys the entire world. He just completely succeeds in his goal. And so much so that there are people that get to that point at the end of Final Fantasy VI that think the game's over. Like, there's another like 35, 40 hours in that game of you still trying to stop Kefka, even after the entire world's been destroyed. Kefka is just so pure nihilistic that his only desire is suffering. He doesn't care about achieving anything. He just thinks life is useless, and he's going to do everything about it. He's so singly driven that there's just this sort of, you don't play a lot of games where the heroes lose so hard. And not only, and I'm just going to spoil the rest of Final Fantasy VI, it has been like 40
It's okay.
years.
It's been a while.
35, somewhere around there. You get to the end when you fight him, you don't beat him. He gets so tired of no one doing anything useful, he just destroys himself in the end. So even at the very end of the entire game, Kefka's like, nope, no one could beat me. I don't care about life. It's over. And that's how that game ends. Like, he's just so driven.
He's so bored at that point. They're like, whatever.
Wow.
So, and you could see where the inspiration, I think Sephiroth, is a much more iconic villain. And I could see where people would put that on the list, but you could see where Kefka was like, this is the character we're basing Sephiroth off of, but we're going to make him cool with long hair instead of a jester. Just an absolutely incredible villain.
Yeah.
That's a good choice. That's a really good choice.
All right.
Okay. So
now we're on to you.
Frag gets 2. Yeah.
2. Okay. So I'm going to give you some quotes as well. Direct action is not always the best way. It's far greater victory to make another see through your eyes than to close them forever.
That doesn't sound like a villain.
No. Okay. How about, do not see every enemy as an enemy. See them instead of as an ally, whether they know it or not.
This is also not villain behavior, Frag.
Yeah. Nothing is impossible with the Force.
Mm-hmm.
Kreia too.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I should have grabbed her.
Kreia is by far one of my favorite villains of all time, because
that was my next one. I'm sorry.
Just like Dutch, you don't see them as a villain, but Dutch, if you played Red Dead Redemption 1, right? With Kreia, I had no idea for so long in the game that she was going to be a villain. And maybe I played it in very influential time in my life, but like the moment I remember like loving Kreia, like she was always in my party, was we were in, I cannot even remember the planet. It's like the hut, not Tatooine, but it's like the next kind of like another planet that's full of criminals. Nar Shaddaa. Thank you. Yep. Yes. And you give money to this homeless person, right? And she's like, why did you do that? And he's like, because they need money. She's like, yeah, but did you make them stronger in the process? Did you help them at all? What you're doing is giving them something and then make them a target. You've done nothing to actually help them. You've just made yourself feel better. And I was like, oh my God, like she's right. You're not bringing people up. You're just being charitable for your own selfish desires.
Well, and you watch that person get murdered and someone takes their money.
Yeah. You've made them a target through your own charitable actions instead of bringing them up and being able to, again, like, see an enemy and make them an ally, whether they know it or not. Like, it very manipulative, very influential, really bringing you as a teacher would to a student. And so when you finally see the betrayal in her, whether it was really betrayal at all, I don't even remember. But like, at that point, I was so angry with, I wanted to defeat her. But maybe I would give into the dark side that way, but I don't know. But I absolutely love Kreia as a villain because of, again, that leadership and mentorship that she brought you as a player and a character throughout the game, so that when you finally had to fight her, you didn't really want to, because I didn't, but I love Kreia.
Yeah.
Nice.
She isn't just, so sorry. I have so many thoughts.
No, add in.
I'll put them together. There are characters that sort of make this surprise heel turn, right? The deal with Kreia is that she, from the very beginning, is evil. Like, she's using you to destroy the Force. That's her interest in you as a character. She puts herself there. The game is called Sith Lords. You think what you're facing are these three powerful Sith Lords. In fact, one of them's even on the cover in the mask, the kind of ghost face mask. She's their boss. Like,
yeah.
She does not, she is using you for her own means, but she is such a complex character within that. Like, she's evil. She's doing horrible things. She does not care for the good of the galaxy. She thinks she has an answer, and she doesn't care how many people are going to get hurt from it. And and she pushes her views, but like any good villain, you get it. Like, you see where she's coming from. You're like, that's like, what, you're going too far, but you're not wrong, or at least you're wrong adjacent, you know? And
Magneto's got some really good points.
Yeah. She's a very Magneto-ish character, right? You're not wrong.
Yeah.
The other thought I have is, this is peak for me, Chris Avellone. This is the guy that did New Vegas. This is a guy that was a writer on what's the silent one game you love a ton? It's RPG overhead, Baldur's Gate time frame, Planescape Torment.
Oh,
he's one of the main writers for
you said silent.
The silent one. That's the guy's name.
Oh, sorry.
The silent one.
I didn't know you meant like the character's name was silent. I thought you meant the game was like a quiet place where no one said anything.
Sorry.
I was very confused. Yes. Planescape Tournament is one of my favorite. I love game.
Yeah. Like, this is peak Obsidian. This is peak him writing. Like, this guy was just weaving nuance into Star Wars in a way that wasn't a ham-fisted nuance, quote unquote. Like, you actually were walking away like, I get why people might turn to the dark side now.
Yeah. It set an expectation of what I feel like Star Wars should be, that everything else has not even come close to it.
Yeah.
Did you ever get a chance to play any of those?
Oh yeah.
Of course you did. We talked about it. Yeah. So Kreia, definitely one of my top picks. I'm debating now on a couple of them here, because I could go with one I think is a funny villain that I think is still legit as a villain. But I feel like I need to roll a dice here. God dang it. You know what? I'm just gonna finish out the Star Wars series. I'm just gonna Revan. I'm gonna go with Darth Revan. Yeah, the antagonist in the first one, absolutely. The dark side of the Force, Darth Revan. I loved it. I loved going to the dark side in KOTOR 1. It was so.
We can't talk about this. I still have trauma, Frag.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. But like, the thing I love about the KOTOR 1 and 2 is it's not a at least. I usually play like a lawful evil whenever I kind of got to do the things. You know, there's some laws like, I won't be the one to do something. I'm not going to kill you. You know, of course, I promise you, I'm not going to do it.
Call me a therapist.
And but it's a subtle approach. Like, you play a certain way, the dark side comes up slowly. It's that influence through time. Like, yes, I did this terrible action, So what's a little bit more on a situation that I need it to be? You know, I need everyone to survive. So of course I have to do this terrible thing. But what do you know? Another situation arises. I've got to do another terrible thing. And next thing you know, you're committing genocide. And it's like, I got to. I mean, everyone's got to, you know, whatever. We just
don't agree with him, Don.
But like, when we got to the end, like I remember I was playing and Josh Tyken came over and I was like, yeah, well, you know, I'm just gonna show you kind of like my character for a little bit. And I was at the point where, yeah, I've just turned to the dark side. And there's Mission, my Twi'lek friend, and the Wookiee, her best friend. I cannot remember his name for the life of me right now. But whatever. I promised her. I was like, listen, you got to join me in the dark side. Everything is great. You know, we've got cookies. But if you're not, well, we're just gonna, you know, I'm gonna, you know, you're gonna have to die. And she's like, you're a good person. I know you won't kill me. And you're like, you know what? You're right. I won't kill you. Wookiee friend, kill her. And Josh is like, what? And he's like, well, his eyes are starting to grow, and she's like, no. And he's like, I got to. You know, I promised a life debt to him as well. I got to do it. Sorry, I don't want to. And he kills her, his best friend. And Josh just looks at me with this like slow, like you could hear the gears and the creaks in his neck. Like, who are you? I was like, what? I needed to test him too. Like, what? I don't see the problem. And it was just,
I stopped inviting him over for about 5 years.
Yeah.
It was one of those moments where after like we had that conversation, I looked back at the screen, I'm like, am I the baddie?
Yes, obviously.
I don't think I played it that way.
You know, it's very rewarding.
Person would.
Yeah, it was very fun. I enjoyed it, but you were definitely
Zalbar.
the dark side. What?
Zalbar.
Thank you. Yes, the Zalbar. It's so funny for somebody who likes, you know, if I ever get a chance to let some of the evil out, playing a lawful evil character, it gave me all the options and all the choices that I would wanted to have to play a evil character that still keeps their promises. I won't be the one to do it.
He didn't kill her.
No, I didn't. I didn't. I have my word. I didn't kill you.
Just so we're all clear, Fraga said his favorite villain is him from had nothing to do with Darth Revan, all right? It has everything to do with Frag. Because I'll say, I played the same game. None of that happened.
Am I the baddie?
Yes. It's kind of crazy when you pick a character that is based on your choices, right?
Yep.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Yeah,
I'm the bad guy.
Because I was like, what if we did like top heroes or whatever? Like that's on my top hero Mount Rushmore. So
we have very
different
games.
Yeah, different.
That's my canon Revan, man. So.
Yeah, good times.
All right. Well, I mean, these are the obvious ones, but someone has to grab it. This has to go on a list somewhere, and that's GLaDOS from Portal. Yeah, it's wild we've gotten this far down the list, and GLaDOS is still available. Like, what an amazing character to have. It's something that a couple of games have done where the villain is with you the entire time, and not just in a shadow way. GLaDOS is very clearly, from the offset, you're like, she's having me put this box on a button. She's gonna kill me. It's never a question. Yeah. You feel unsettled from the very beginning all the way to the end of both Portal 1 and Portal 2. She's hilarious, tells wonderful jokes, adds such color and such variety. If GLaDOS didn't exist in Portal would not be the game we all love. It would just be test stations. So that performance and everything that went with it was just an incredibly peak, amazing. Yeah. And the end, right? You finally kill GLaDOS, and then you get that wonderful song by Jonathan Colton.
Yep.
Sung by GLaDOS is such a great way to send that off. And then you get the villain comes back in Portal 2, and you even get to this point, you've got the villain with you on a little potato battery, right? Running. Like, it was just everything about GLaDOS makes them such an iconic villain that, again, how am I here with third on my list and you guys still let me have it? So thank you.
It was on my list. I had some other ones I had to get out.
So that's who I got.
Awesome.
You got the last two for you, right?
2 for me. Yeah. Can't believe I'm getting my top 4. I pick weird on these just
so
because.
Is this actually the last of our villains? Or
I have 2 and then it goes back to Tyken and back to you.
My last
okay.
One, and then your last one.
So I'm going to start with Matthias from Tomb Raider 2013.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hate that guy.
You hate that guy. Great. Yes. It's a guy that's easy to hate, right?
Who is it? I missed it. I'm sorry. Say it again.
Matthias. Is that how you pronounce it?
Mm-hmm. From what game?
Yeah. Tomb Raider, the Survivor remake.
Oh, I never played any of the Tomb Raiders.
Oh,
I know.
What? This okay.
Yeah.
And this topic for me, and like just going back through all these characters, I'm like, I want to play this game again. And I did. I started Tomb Raider again because really? I'm like, oh, it's so good and it holds up so well. Like,
I believe it.
God, wonderful. And they throw Laura around like a fucking ragdoll. Like she gets beat.
Oh no, I did play that one. That was brutal as hell. Oh God,
I
never finished it, but I do remember some of them. Like
every one of us died on the river or the mudslide. Straight in the
multiple
face
times.
Yep.
And if you know me when I play, like I die a lot. So I just like I've seen every death sequence there is in that game. And it's brutal. That game is brutal. So the reason I picked Matthias is this game is just so crazy. He finds Sam, which is Laura's longtime friend, or are they sisters, or they're kind of like sisters, right? So he finds Sam, and Sam gets her, and he helps her, right? He nurses her back to, her messed up foot or whatever, and he fixes her foot. And then Laura stumbles on this campsite, and him and Sam like talk to Laura as if they're friends and everything. Laura, you can tell, has some apprehension towards this, so she doesn't really trust it, and then she passes out. I don't know if she was like, she's been through a lot. She falls down every canyon and gets hit by everything in the world, so she's just listening to Sam talk to Matthias and passes the fuck out at the campfire. And when she wakes up, they're gone. And that's the start. You're like, okay, Matthias he's not good. He's not helpful. This guy is not a friend. And as you play this game, you discover this guy's been on the island for a long time. He wants to get off. This is his driving thing to get off. And he will do some crazy shit to Sam because she's tied into the lore of the island, in the main piece of the puzzle to get off the island. So Matthias thinks, so he will put her basically in ritual and kill her to get off the island. And he's just crazy. This guy, you run into him several times. You hate him because he's a dick. And he runs a cult, and the dude is just unhinged.
Okay.
Fun character.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And then other than that, so my last pick, I'm gonna go with Arthas from Warcraft.
Good.
Yeah.
I was hoping someone would take him.
And Arthas starts out, I believe this is all in Warcraft 3, right? He's a good guy, right?
Yep.
And he is
Paladin.
He's a paladin. He's a hero. He follows, all his mentors. He's the prince of the king. Good guy. So he gets to a point in this story where somebody goes through and poisons a city, and he's like, well, the city's dead already, and these people are just getting sick from the poison grain, so we're just going to kill everybody in the city. And that's where, Jaina and I forget who's with them, they're like, Arthas, you've lost your mind. We can't do this. And he's like, fine, I'll grab the people that follow me and the people that are most important to me, and we're going to go kill the rest of the city. And it's the cooling of Stratholme, right? Mm-hmm. Fast forward, and that's where you start to see like Arthas kind of turn. He's like, maybe this isn't the knight in shining armor and the hero of Azeroth. This guy might have some like really messed up things, and that was a messed up part of his story. And then he moves into Northrend and ends up finding Frostmourne, basically, after he's going after, I think it was Kil'Thuzad or whoever. He's going after him because he poisoned Stratholme, right?
Right.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he retreats to Northrend, and then Arthas goes to Northrend and finds Frostmourne, and that just unleashes Psycho Arthas.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes back and kills his dad, and it's this whole thing. And then he becomes the Lich King. So
it was that's a great choice.
Oh God, he's
the villain evil. Or what Arthas did.
I mean, I'm not gonna really say anything further.
I can no longer know where you're at, Brett.
For the Horde. All right. Yeah, so great character. Like Warcraft was so good when it was simpler times.
Yeah, it was so great. Yeah, I agree with you. It was a great choice. I Arthas in Warcraft 3 was really, I loved watching the downfall.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what maybe me saying really bad things about me. I don't know, but I love seeing the choices that one makes when, again, hell is paid by good intentions. When you think you're doing it for the right reasons, again, kind of like going with Dutch earlier, you do things because you think you're doing it the right choice, and it just, well, again, that's not as bad as the thing I did last time. I got to do another bad choice. I have to make the bad choice because I got to do it the right thing. And then watching that happen. It was
and
good.
And so he thinks Stratholme's the right choice. I believe when he finds Frostmourne, he's with one of his mentors and like a dwarf or something, and the dwarf's
Uther?
Like, is it?
I think it's Uther, right?
No, I think he's with him maybe at Stratholme.
Oh, okay.
I'd have to look it up, but this guy ends up dying basically. But he warns Arthas. He's like, the sword is cursed, and this shit's gonna fuck you up if you grab it, basically.
Right.
And Arthas is like, no, this is how I'm gonna kill the guy. This is how I do good.
By the way.
What's that?
That cutscene was so peak.
Yeah.
When he grabs the sword. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is how I'm gonna kill the guy. This is how I'm going to bring safety back to Azeroth. Like, we're going to make this place better because I'm going to go kill this guy, and Frostmourne's going to be my vehicle to make it happen. And he gets the sword, kills his mentor, or he doesn't kill it. It's like a frostbolt or something kills him. And he's like, oh, he's fucking dead. So I'm going to go kill this other guy and just leave him. And mission accomplished. And then he becomes the Lich King. Crazy character.
Yeah. Great fall. An arc with a fall of the character. You could see the pressure for him to do so well, and the cockiness of youth, and then sort of watching that character morph over really Warcraft 3, but even into WoW, and sort of get into the Lich King's domain and really start piecing the rest of that story. It's by far the best story in WoW.
Yeah, 100%.
I think I stopped playing WoW right before that expansion. And it's honestly one of the only reasons I wish I could go back, because I'd love to know more what happens and what that world has become. But that Arthas is a great choice.
Yep.
Nice.
Cool. That's my final pick.
All right. My final pick. Someone has to grab it. And you guys again left it for me, but I'm taking Handsome Jack.
You have to. Absolutely. Absolutely.
If we got through the end of this list and no one mentioned Handsome Jack, you might as well just shut this podcast down. All right.
I knew someone was going to take it, which is I felt safe letting it go but the two I have left, I have to mention. So continue.
Yeah. I mean, Handsome Jack really built Borderlands 2. Like, it's a wonderful game, but that character constantly making fun of you, harassing you, joking with you. I mean, he pushes you into doing quests. At one point, he tells you, like, jump into a pool of lava.
Go kill yourself.
And then when you recover, he's just laughing his ass off. Like, throughout the entire experience, he is a constant companion and just elevates Borderlands 2 to be the peak of the Borderlands series, which, you know, is what it is. He's very similar in the way that GLaDOS was kind of always there egging you on to the point that you both are like, I love Handsome Jack and I cannot wait to shoot this guy in the face.
100%. Yes. Yeah.
Like him screaming butt stallion at you, you know, it was just so good. The way he harassed you and made fun of you and like got angrier and more unhinged as the game progressed. And then you finally get to the point that you fight him head on. And it just, I cannot think of a more satisfying ending battle of a game. There are ones that are harder and you feel accomplished, but like you get there and you're like, Handsome Jack's going to eat shit. That's what's going to happen now. And he does. It's great.
Handsome Jack also disarmed you for a while. Like you just didn't take him seriously. You thought he was so funny, such a dumb character, but like in a funny, good way that you didn't realize also how dangerous he was until at certain times, like that tone changed when he started talking to you and you started realizing some of the motivations. That's when when his motivations became clear. It was like, oh, this guy is very dangerous because he's doing it for, and I know it's been out for a while, but it's one of those characters I don't really want to spoil too much because it's so powerful. Like the dangerous motivations again, when you think you're making the right decisions.
Yeah.
100%.
So, I mean, it was the first one you mentioned when we got into this list. I think he's up there in the sort of like, you ask anyone who's played games, who's the best villains, Handsome Jack's going to be in the top 5 easy. So it was a very obvious. And again, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I really like my mountain and I thought there's no way I'm getting my mountain. So thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So I got 2, right?
Do you have 2? I think it's 1 more, right?
No, you have 1 more.
Oh, one more. Oh,
I
do have some honorable mentions, and
we'll do those.
We'll do those.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And I'm going to do the stronger one and not necessarily the funny one. Okay. Mine also again has a quote. Stop, would you kindly? Would you kindly? A powerful phrase, familiar phrase. Sit, would you kindly? Stand, would you kindly? Run, stop, turn. A man chooses, a slave obeys. Kill, a man chooses, a slave obeys. Obey. Andrew Ryan from BioShock. Such a powerful character to the very end. He died on his terms. You did not kill him. I want to make it. I feel like that's a very stand. Like you did not kill Andrew Ryan in BioShock. He killed himself, and that reveal alone was powerful. Like, oh my god! And then everything that came with it of just like, no, yeah, obviously this is the end of me. But I'm going to choose how I go out. You are my tool in this very moment. You are not a protagonist. You are not the hero. You are my tool in my own destruction. And I'm going to choose how I go out. Andrew Ryan, again, you could hate him all you want. There's lots of reason to do that. But god damn, man, that guy had power and he wielded it.
Kind of. I think, well, one, I'm not going to disagree with you. I think he's an incredible villain. Really, Rapture is the story of his failure. And well, really, it's a critique on libertarianism, but it's a story of the failure of Andrew Ryan and his dogma that he fed so much into his existence that every part of him, even while he was failing, he could never turn away from.
Right.
Like, in the end, he kills himself. That is true, by forcing you as the character to do it. He tries to make his suicide a measure of control, and yet he's still dying. He's still killing himself because he can't stand up to Fontaine. He can't beat this character who's cheating, which goes against his entire worldview. It's the fall of libertarianism, right? This sort of like, he had to find a way to gain control even when he had no control at all.
Absolutely.
In the most, like, handed way. So it's that complexity of that character that shines through.
And that's what I love, though. I love that complexity. It's not a simple black and white.
Yeah.
And that's where, if you look at my list, that's all of them. They're not simple black and white. Well, maybe Revan, but like, they're not black and white characters. There's so much depth, and there's so many reasons behind why they do what they do that you love them as you also hate them.
Yeah. So nice pick. Beautiful. Andrew Ryan was definitely written down on my list. I didn't get to him, but he's a great villain.
I'm very happy with my list too. Yeah.
It's wild that he dies like halftway through BioShock and you're still like, nope, he's the main villain.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, come on, Fontaine is whatever.
The ending boss sucked.
It did. It did.
Everything else about the game.
Again, because it's not just that you defeat Andrew Ryan. It's that whole, again, I'm taking the last bit of control I can in a situation I can't control anymore.
Yep.
And I'm going to show you the truth. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah. So that's mine.
All right. So if you guys don't mind, I'd love to hear just your top 4, like what made your list on your mountain, just as a one-time through. So we'll start with Dawn. What was the 4?
Yeah. So we had General Shepard, Call of Duty.
Sorry.
We had Don Solieri from Mafia. We had Matthias from Tomb Raider, the 2013, and Arthas from Warcraft 3 and WoW. Yeah.
Nice. My mountain was Bowser from the Super Mario Brothers series, Kefka from Final Fantasy VI, suck it, Sephiroth, GLaDOS from Portal, and then Handsome Jack from Borderlands 2. And Frag?
Mine was Dutch Vanderlyn from Red Dead Redemption, Kreia from Knights of the Old Republic 2, Revan from Knights of the Old Republic 1, and Andrew Ryan from BioShock.
Kreia is the only one I'm really mad at you about.
Oh, really?
That was my number 3.
That's so funny.
And I was like, no. So that was a good one. All right. I'd love to hear honorable mentions. We'll just do it quick. So
sure.
I don't know who wants to start with 1 or 2.
I'll just give mine quick quote for one of mine. I had a few honorable mentions I can quickly go through, but this is the one the other one I was debating. My quote. Huh! Huh! You don't get it? You know what? How about this? Followed by this. No?
Nope.
Huntsman, Repo.
Total a-hole.
You missed the part where you were giggling.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, the Huntsman and Repo, because, man, nothing gives you fear like that. Like, all the other monsters are bad, but you can be all the way across the map, and you're hearing it, and you're like, someone's dying.
My list had a couple of honorable mentions. I just wanted to keep in the back. I'll go through them quick. But Voss from Far Cry 3, you know, the true definition of insanity. That whole performance had such gravitas. It didn't make my list because he's in it for like a fourth of the game. He just has one amazing scene, but he chews scenery through that entire scene. I loved him for that. BioShock, interestingly enough, Comstock from BioShock Infinite was on my backup list. I think he's another fundamentalist character it's amazing to sort of go up against, especially with that twist ending. Spoilers, but you find out Comstock's you as an alternate reality, and it's cool going through and seeing that sort of like, this is the path your life could have taken you. So I love that. I do have Sephiroth on here. Not much to talk about. If I could get Kefka, I was going to take him. Wheatley from Portal 2, I think, is a great.
That's also a great choice.
To GLaDOS. Final one, last one on this list. I almost put it in, but Radon from Elden Ring, just by pure absolute spectacle. This is the guy that's in like the barren landscape, riding that little tiny horse. You get the backstory of him. He just eats everything. You just come in on him with a whole army. Like, it is a spectacle. I think it's an incredible villain. It was very wishy-washy if I was going to put him on the list, because I think he's a better boss fight than he is a villain, but I think he's still a great villain.
That's fair. I had a couple other honorable mentions. I didn't know if we were going to go back and forth, but I'll just throw on Micah Bell from Red Dead Redemption. because you, no matter what, you hate that guy. No matter
I was gonna
what.
say, screw him.
Yeah, absolutely, Micah Bell. And then the only last honorable mention I had was with the other repo players. So, they were far worse than any of the monsters. So.
True,
especially with bounties.
Yeah, that's my list.
That's good. What I would say, my kid threw a couple in here. He really liked Springtrap from Five Nights at Freddy's. And then he said The Neighbor from Hello Neighbor. And he made me play that game when like it came out because he couldn't, like, it was too hard for him when it first came out. And that character is messed up. Like,
I don't know this.
What's going on? Yeah.
He's on the cover.
He's the guy. He's the main. Yeah. But yeah, super villain. Like, you're kind of going through his house trying to figure out what's going on. He finds you and then he throws you out, but maybe has kids locked in the basement or something. I don't know. It's creepy. And then like Team Rocket was another one from Pokemon. Yeah, they're just kind of. It's pretty corny, but yeah, it's always Team Rocket's always fun. Darth Vader Force Unleashed, of course. Throwing Wookiees is a fantastic time.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know if these guys should go on, but Shao Kahn, Mortal Kombat, M. Bison, Street Fighter.
Nice.
But I remember playing like fighter games and getting to that last boss, like on the Sega Super Nintendo or whatever, and getting to that last boss and just being annihilated and then starting all over.
Oh yeah.
Mortal Kombat, they do the little, tower of whatever, and you get to the top of the tower and get your ass beat and then go back to the bottom. So yeah,
I thought about the Street Fighter villains as well, and then my issue is like I love Street Fighter. It's one of my favorite, and I consider one of the best Street Fighter or fighting games of all time. But you don't play it for the story.
No,
like they're not great.
They're
not good. They're not good.
The day I killed your father was the most important day of your life.
That is not a Street Fighter thing. That is his performance.
Street Fighter movie. Don't watch it.
Don't do it. No.
Don't do it.
I don't know about that. I think you can watch it now knowing what it is. Know what it is first, and then go in there knowing that. I think is a better experience. You guys get paid? Like, there's so many good one-liners in there. It's not a good movie, but
Jean-Claude Van Damme plays Guile, the American hero, and makes no attempt to be American. Just no attempt.
We're gonna have to do a breakdown on this movie eventually, and we're all just gonna force ourselves to watch something. Maybe, I don't know, during the summer or whatever, and we'll force ourselves to watch it and just come back with notes.
Maybe we should do like a Mystery Science Theater thing where we're all playing the movie and then watching it and critiquing it as it plays.
Yeah, we could worry about copyright, but we haven't been shut down yet, so
there we go. All right, yeah,
awesome. Cool. So yeah, that's it for the list. I'm super happy with how this turned out. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, these characters, they're villains, but they mean a lot to me. They really build the games. Like, these build the narratives for what we're playing, and the characters. Like, you had so many quotes. I had a quote. Like, the villains have the best dialogues, I think. Like, they make the story. That's how it all happens. So hats off to the villains. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, a great villain makes or breaks a game. And that's, again, I mentioned that with GLaDOS. I mentioned that with Handsome Jack. It's like those characters elevate. And that's just something that only comes from wonderful writing and getting to play in that sort of darker space that you just kind of, I'm fighting you. You're funny, but I'm going to fight you.
Yeah.
Oh, Borderlands. So good. Awesome. I think that is pretty much it for it this week, unless you guys have other advice.
Always I
You
am.
think we're good?
I got Revenge of the Savage Planet to play. I don't know why we keep going.
We need to do that. And then what I will say is next week we are planning on talking about Mario Kart and Switch 2. So Frag, I know you love to hate it. But
yeah, I'll probably miss out on that one.
We'd love to have an opposing opinion or something that grounds us a little bit.
There'll be opposition then.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, thank you for our viewers.
Diddy Kong Racing, this is such a better game.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Next gen, that'll be on the next rumor roundup. But yeah, next gen Diddy Kong. I think somebody has said something about that recently. So there's a lot of racers, lots of racers coming out.
You should play the porn parody Diddy Kong. No, I'm so sorry.
No,
I am so sorry. Please cut it. Please cut it.
Editor.
All right. Thanks again for our viewers. Thank you, Frag. Thank you, Tykin. And yeah, everybody have a great night. Thanks for showing up.
Take care.
Latest.
See ya.
Why is this game crazy?